All right, so in an effort to kind of work on target panic, I didn't really think that target panic was my problem, but I started listening to some podcasts and trying to get more educated about what I'm doing wrong. And even though I shot a compound bow, this will be my 30th. I'm 42. This will be my 30th year shooting a compound bow. I just always been successful, and so I've always kind of not worried about having issues. But I think target panic is my main issue. Or when I'm at full draw, I want to tend to, like, when the pin settled on the bullseye, I want to try to like punch it and go. And so laying my finger on there and trying to squeeze and all that wasn't working. So what I've done was I went and got a hinge style release. On one of the podcasts in particular, Randy Ulmer was talking about using a hinge in his practice, and then he uses a hinge at the beginning and the end of every practice. He said he'll shoot about 5 arrows just to focus on his process, and then he'll actually, shoot his hunting setup with his hunting release. So this is the release that I hunt with, and leading up the season, I'll switch over to this. But for right now, when I'm practicing in my backyard, I'm going to start working on shooting a hinge. So I didn't get the Scott for any particular reason other than I'm just familiar with Scott, and I've always shot Scott. Before this, I think this is a saber tooth. They don't make it anymore. But before this, I shot a mongoose. So what I'll do is I'll shoot a few arrows and just trying to kind of go over. It's set up right now as cold as you can set it up. I've got it to where there's settings. The hotter the setting means the easier it'll go off. And I've got it set up as cold as you can, and it's on the micro click. The micro click clicks right before it triggers. This comes with 3 different moons. It comes with 3 different little tabs in here. There's one with no click, there's one with a cold click, and there's one with a hot click. So this would be considered, I guess, the hot click, and it's on the coldest setting. And I took the thumb bar off because when I draw, I was having to move my thumb underneath, and that thumb bar is pretty long. So I may look for a shorter thumb bar or just leave it like this. And if I hit myself in the face, this will be a totally different video. But I'm gonna shoot a few arrows. So the key is when you're drawing it back, as long as you got pressure on this right here, it's not gonna go off. What makes it go off is when you start rotating it. And as it rotates, it'll go off. My dogs are glad that we're out here. So I'll shoot a couple right quick, and you can see what I'm talking about. And I don't know, I might be giving myself a whole nother kind of target panic because now I'm panicked that this thing's gonna go off. But it has helped me settle my pin and keep my pin on the target. I have noticed that because I guess I'm thinking so much about my form that that I'm not really, there's nothing to punch. I guess you could punch this if you did a real fast deal, but trust me, that's not what you're thinking about when you got this thing back. You're just hoping you don't let this thing go or something like that. So that was pretty, I mean, you can see how brutal that is. You're holding it back. I'll try to go a little bit faster on this shot. But I'm also, I'm worried about a 70-pound bow going off when I don't want it to, so. And I've noticed these groups are like terrible. I'm pretty good at my old way that I shoot, even though it's not the right way. I've just gotten good at doing it because I guess I've done it for such a long time. But I don't notice a difference at 20 yards. Where I notice a difference is at like 60 yards. I'm not nearly as good at 60 yards as I used to be and out to further distances because I can't settle the pin. I'm floating the pin around, and when it gets on it, I try to immediately touch the release, and that's causing me some form issues. And so right now, I'm trying to fix this stuff in July, so that this upcoming hunting season, maybe I'll have some of my form issues resolved, or I'll be a little bit more consistent, in case I've got to make a longer shot. See, that's me speeding it up. So I guess that's what it would look like if you punched a back tension. So I went from really, really slow to trying to get the arrow out too fast. Last one. Like I said, I'm just doing this a few times, and then I'll shoot my normal arrows with my hunting release. But I'm working on just trying to hold the pin on there and keep the pin on there. But anyway, so that's a hinge. That's the Scott Longhorn Micro. I've got it as cold as you can set it up. I've got the micro click moon, or the hot click, where it clicks just a millisecond before it goes off. Okay, come here. Sit down. Where it clicks a millisecond before it'll go off. For me, psychologically, that helps me a little bit. I don't want the total surprise yet. I may go to the no click later, but for right now, I'm running it without the thumb bar and with the shortest click that's available. But I really like the weight of it. I like it's brass, and I like that it's built a little bit wider. There's some other back tensions. Kate, come here. There's some other back tensions that are built a little bit narrower and built out of aluminum. And I felt of them, and for me, I just felt like this one it felt better in my hand, and it felt better the way that my hand's set up. So, but anyways, that's what I'm working on. I think, it doesn't have to be necessarily a back tension, but it could just be a different release. If you've got another release you keep in your tackle box, or another release that you keep in your backpack. Switching up releases, they talk about that on the same podcast, about how just don't get settled into a rut where you're doing the same thing, you're doing bad things over and over and over. So that's what I'm hoping this is going to help me do, just kind of break out of bad habits and give my mind something different. Like I said, I might be giving myself a totally new target panic, but at least I'm getting out of the old way of punching the trigger. I'm taking my time. My shot sequence now is probably 6 or 7 seconds, where it used to be 2. I would snatch it back, put it on the thing, fire it, and I would come out here and just shoot as many arrows as I could. And that's another thing that a lot of people talk about is, instead of shooting a bulk of arrows, just shoot a few really, really focused arrows where you're really focusing on your form and everything. So I don't know, I'm taking a different approach this year. That's my approach. I've been shooting a bow for a long time, and just trying to mix it up, keep it fun. I'm more interested in shooting. It got kind of boring, I'll be honest, shooting this bow in my backyard. It's kind of boring, but this has made it interesting again. and I think it's going to help me whenever it comes time and I'm in the tree stand and I've got my hunting release on. When I've got this and I'm drawing down on the animal, I'm going to be focusing. I'm going to feel a lot more confident, and that's important. So, thanks.